welcome to the Golden Hour and the Manifest to Live Life Golden podcast and YouTube show. I'm Golden Duffy, your host, and today we're having an important conversation about protecting our peace. I have done shows about this before, about getting the drama and the stress out of your life, but this one feels particularly important at this time. I don't know why, but I've been kind of doing an overhaul of my own life and letting go and not being so obligated to so many people and to so many things, and really protecting the peace that we have available to us in every single moment. So I did a little download of all the ways that we give away our peace, that we let our joy be stolen, that we let our peace be stolen. And I'm going to share that with you because awareness is always the first step. If we don't have awareness, we have nothing. But awareness changes nothing. So we have to have the awareness and then the tools and tips to change it. And I'm going to give you those today. So I'm excited about this conversation. And it was really interesting because today's post on Facebook was all about protecting your peace. That was the download that came through today. And I thought, you know what? That would be a really valuable show to do today in particular. I don't know why. And I encountered something right after I sent the post to Facebook that was really about me protecting my peace. And I thought it was really interesting. So I'm going to share with you. And if you are the person that this involves, I don't know if you listen to the show or not. I just want you to know that I don't send you any negativity. I only send love. But I do want to say that when we live in a very judgmental state in our life, we will have a very hard time creating relationships, rich, deep, loving friendships and relationships, if we are constantly judging and telling people, you guys are going to love this story, and telling people that they are wrong for doing what they're doing. Anytime you're doing that, you are throwing your peace right out the window. Yeah, yours, because when we mess with other people's peace, we mess with our own peace. We are creating drama in the world. We're creating a negative vibration, and it doesn't lend to the love and harmony in the world. So if you are doing that, I'm going to ask you, I'm not going to ask you to do anything actually, because me judging you for doing that is judging, right? So you can do you, but I will say, if you do that to me, you probably won't be in my experience anymore, because I have a very low tolerance for that. Let's blame it on menopause. I don't know. I had a talk with my husband yesterday and I'm like, I'm being very protective of my time. I'm being very protective of things. And it's not about, I think what happens in law of attraction, this is a really, really important point. I think what happens in law of attraction when you first learn about it, especially, or if you follow like Abraham Hicks or people that are involved, up these blinders and only be involved in positivity. And that is not what I'm talking about here. Although I do very lean towards positivity, I am here for the expansion and growth of all of it. However, my tolerance is super low for things that create a bunch of friction in my experience. Now, if you are, a family member or a really friend or something like that, this may be different. But this was just kind of a stranger. So I had gotten a friend request on Facebook from this person. And this has been over the last couple of weeks, and they really enjoy my posts and started inboxing me, and they live in the area and they wanted to get together. And I'm pretty open to that, although I'm starting to feel like maybe I shouldn't be. I'm starting to change my policy on that, I think. I also want you all to know I don't take phone calls. So I get a lot of that also on Messenger, people that want to talk to me, and I love you and I'm here for you to support you. I will message with you on Facebook as much as my time allows. Or that clearing energy, see fit, but I don't take phone calls. And that is something new for me. It's creating boundaries and it's protecting my energetic field. So when we have phone calls together or conversations together, it influences my field. And in order for me to do what I do, I have to stay in a very high field of energy. And that's not to say that if you want to have a call with me, you're in a low or negative vibe. But usually when people want to talk to me, it's because they're having a hard time and they would like my advice. And I am all about supporting you and loving you. I just cannot spend a lot of time on phone calls because it takes me away from my inspiration and what I'm doing in the world. So that is not egotistical whatsoever. It's just what I have needed to do in the last few years to really just create some boundaries, because I used to agree, sessions out and a lot of free time. And what I realized over time was it was depleting me. It was, creating this energetic imbalance in me, and I wasn't respecting myself. I wasn't respecting my own time. So that's the first thing. So if you're doing a lot of that with people and you're listening to a lot of people's problems and issues and challenges, just check in with that, because you don't have to do that. It's great to be there for people. It's great to support people. But at the end of the day, what is the life that we're creating for ourselves? And this may sound selfish, and it absolutely is, because if we don't fill up ourselves, I just got 10,000 steps. Whew, all right. And it's only 2:30. Go me. If we don't fill ourselves up, we're going to be depleted human beings. We're not going to be available for joy, and we're going to create a lower vibration in the world. So this is about doing what's right for us, listening to our own intuition and our own inspiration. It doesn't mean that I absolutely 1000% will never talk to anybody on the phone. But being on the phone is an energetic suck for me, no matter who it is. I mean, probably except for my husband's, my kids, and a few very close friends. Not a big phone person anyways. All right. So the next part of this was, so then we decided that we might get together at some point, and this person was looking for friendship, and I'm cool with friendship. I have limited time in my life. I really do. I have a lot of things. I have a lot of children. I have a husband. I have a lot of things going on. And I'm very particular about where I spend my time. So we never really came up with a concrete plan. And then I had that thing that happened last week where I thought I was going to be in this big job, and I was on the phone all the time. So I wasn't available last week. And then yesterday I got a message from this person, and they were asking me how I was and how my day was going. And I said, I'm just running into an appointment. And yesterday was like jam packed. Like I just had thing after thing after thing, starting at like 8:00 in the morning. So this morning I get a text message from this person, and they had asked me for a phone call, and I didn't respond to that text message because I didn't want to be like, I don't take phone calls. I just didn't want to. And that's my prerogative, right? So then I got a message this morning, how come you never ask about me? And I was like, wow, because I have a lot going on. And I said, I give a lot to a lot of people, and I'm doing the best I can. And then I started to get some accusatory texts saying that I was a false prophet and that I wasn't living up to what I was prophesizing, which I was kind of like, what do you mean? Like the posts that I have on Facebook completely come through me. And I don't think there's anything in those posts that say that I should just give freely of my time. Never have I ever said that. And then the next, and I said, I'm sorry about that. I just have a lot going on. I might not be the right friend for you. And, I've had a lot of friendships that have ended because I'm not the right friend for someone, because I don't have just a whole bunch of time to give people. I have a busy life, and that's not an excuse. And I was actually accused of making an excuse as well. And that I needed to take a look at that. And I just said, you know what? I'm doing the best I can. And that's pretty much all I said. And then I was accused of being a false prophet because I eat meat and I drink. If I eat meat and drink alcohol, she didn't really know me because we never really actually hung out. That I was really, really a false prophet if I were doing those things. And yes, I eat meat, and yes, I drink alcohol. And I just thought, wow, okay, all right. Took me a minute. And I did the most amazing things for myself this morning after this happened. I shook out. I literally shook my body. My daughter actually has a video of me doing all these crazy things in her room, because I was like, no one's going to do this to me. Like, no one's going to take me down today. Like, I woke up on top of the world. I went to the gym. I watched the sunrise. I'm like, nobody's doing this to me, especially not a stranger. Like, there's just no way. So I did a lot of shaking. I shook out my body. That's a really, really good tip. If you look up, it's Yoqi on YouTube, Yoqi. She is my favorite Tai Chi person. And just shake your body out, move your body, get the energy out. If you are getting hit by negativity, do some shaking, like literally jumping up and down and releasing the energy. It's really good for your lymph system. It's really good energetically, and you will buzz after. Like if you stand there, your body will actually buzz after. So once that happened, again, you may judge me harshly, but again, like we're not in this judgment place. Like I'm not a super, and I still judge. Yes, I am human, but I am just not in a super judgy place in my life. I think it comes with age. I think it comes with maturity. I think it comes with spirituality, where I can just let people be people, and I can allow someone to process, to go in their progress, right, of what's going on in their expansion and growth. And I don't expect everyone to do that for me. But when I realized she had sent me a message a while ago that said, I want to go out, but everybody's drinking alcohol and eating meat, I thought, I'm probably not the friend for you, and did myself and her a disservice for not saying it right then and there. So I'm learning to be a little more direct, but I definitely was not the right person, because I love meat. I think meat, my belief system is it's full of protein. If you're vegetarian or vegan, that's awesome for you. That's what's right for your body, but that is what is right for my body. I have gone vegetarian several times. It does not agree with me. It does not make me feel good. It does not make my body thrive. It does not help my muscles grow. So at this point, I'm looking to thrive. I'm looking to create vitality. Don't need to explain that to anyone. And the alcohol piece for me is very much about being a human. It really is. I have it completely dialed in and control. I am not getting drunk. I am not having massive hangovers. I'm not disrupting anyone's life in any way. Spiritually, I'm still very in tuned and in touch and intact, as you can tell from my Facebook posts and what I'm doing. That may change over time. I don't know. But one thing I will never become is a judgmental idiot who's sober, because I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said idiot. That was mean. But someone who judges someone for doing something else, especially when they used to do it, is really, it's not awakened. It's not an awakened state. It is very much asleep. So that was my morning. So funny. You put out this protect your peace thing, and then I get that this morning. But I will say this, even after what happened, the drama from last week, you can listen to last week's show if you want to hear that. I'm getting into a little more storytelling about my life, and I hope you guys like it. I mean, it seems like the shows are doing well. I'm getting a little further away from the technical stuff and getting more. I promise I'm going to give you tips and tricks, but just sharing what's actually going on, I think, is really helpful and valuable to see how I'm processing things and how I'm navigating. And I'm not freaking perfect. There's just no way. Like, I'm going to tell my husband about this tonight, and I'm like, is there a way that I could not tell him about this? Probably not, because he's my best friend. But, that's what we do. We carry our drama and we tell people about it. And it's probably not going to go much further than that. I talk to my daughters about it. I'm going to talk to my husband, maybe my best friend. Then it needs to stop, right? It needs to end. Because that's the other thing we do, is we talk about these dramatic stories over and over and over again till we're vibrating with them and we're creating more of them. So one thing that I realized after last week and this happening today, people are people. People are people, and people are wounded, and I'm going to trigger people. There's no doubt about it that I'm going to trigger people. You're going to trigger people. People trigger me. This is what happens when we're in a society together and people see you doing something, especially when you have a voice out there, when you're, making claims and putting out posts and all of that. People may come up against you. And I have had other people that have put negativity on my posts, and I pretty much delete and block them right away, because if you're putting negativity on my post, I'm never going to argue with you, because if you have a belief system, God bless you. You run with that belief system, but you won't see my posts anymore because they don't resonate with you. So why would I keep them there for you to argue with me? Like, this is like crazy. This tit-tat, like back and forth stuff is nuts. We're like wasting our lives and wasting our energy. And most of this is like complete strangers, people that we would walk away from if they were trying to do that in public. So keep that in mind. That's the biggest lesson. The other thing I realized is I will never become that person who feels attacked all the time, because I didn't feel attacked, even though it was absolutely from the outside. If you looked at it, my daughter's like, why is she attacking you? I will not be that person because I'm not a victim. In order for us to become attacked means we have to be a victim. So I looked at it, and after I processed it over the last few hours, I just thought, that's a wounded person. That's a wounded person who needed more from me than I could give. And, maybe down the road when I'm super duper more spiritual, I won't block them. Maybe. I doubt it, because this is the thing. It's my life, and I get to protect my peace. And I don't have to go into these dramatic, back and forths with people, especially those I don't really know that well. It's my choice, right? It's our preferences. It's our preferences. All right. So these are some of the ways that you are allowing your joy to be stolen. And these are some of the ways that you are giving into the dramatic way of being. Now, I want to say something about drama and stress. Okay. These two things that like really steal your peace. They're on a low vibrational scale. Did you see my hat? Nothing but love for you. Yeah, that's how I want to close that little story. Nothing but love for you. This is my elevators. It actually says elevators on the rim. I'm not going to pull it down because I had a hard time getting it up there. My friend Summer Batil, she's on Instagram under Paso Robles Mom. She makes these, and she made one for me, and I absolutely love it. So if you want one, you can find her. If you can't find her, just email me at livelifegolden@gmail.com, and I'll tell you where to find her, because they're so cool. And oh my gosh, the inside of it is like terry cloth. It's so soft and just like absorbs. It's so great. It's such a great hat. It's one of my favorite, most comfortable hats I've ever had, and I'm not a hat girl. Getting back to the story, nothing but love for you. So drama's on a low vibration. Stress is on a low vibration. So basically, let's say you wake up in the morning, you're feeling fine. Fine is also not a high vibration. Feeling okay. You ever ask someone how they are and they go, okay? Not high vibration. High vibration is love, excitement, appreciation, gratitude. Those are high vibrations. How do you wake up like that? You go to sleep like that. You lay in your bed and think about all the things you're grateful for before you go to sleep. And then when you open your eyes, you thank God for another day. You thank God for your body, for your life, for your love, for the sun, for the sky, all of it. That's what I do. That's what I absolutely do. So I got getting up in the morning. I'm feeling really good. Maybe you sit down and meditate. Yes, you sit down and meditate. You just get that bliss of that like silence and that, or music, or however you like to like get into that quieted mind state. You get into that alpha state. Alpha state's going to raise your vibe even higher, even higher. Something happens, doesn't go your way. You start to get a little bit ticked off. Maybe the kids left dishes in the sink. My kids do it almost, not all the time. They do it a lot. Okay, that could tick you off. Not me. No way. Sometimes. Not today. Not today. So I wash the dishes. You're feeling good. Maybe you get off to work. Maybe you're annoyed. Maybe you're annoyed about those dishes. Then maybe something else happens. Then maybe your kid comes down and you get in an argument with them. This is what spirals you into a low vibrational state. One little piece of drama. Maybe you're at the gym and you catch something about homeless people. Maybe you catch something on the news that causes your vibration to get a little wiggly, and you're just like, the world we live in, or whatever, right? Maybe you see a politician on TV, and it ticks you off. These are the things that drop your vibration. When you drop your vibration, you are opening up your field for all of it, for all of the annoying things, for the traffic, for the spilled coffee, for the and this morning, I had an early appointment this morning, and I was drinking my chocolate shake, and I don't know why I don't use a straw. I got a big chocolate stain on my shirt. I'm all dressed. I'm ready to go. I look down. I got a chocolate stain on my shirt. Oh, crap. So I take it off. I spray it. I start scrubbing it, and it pretty much comes out, like not totally all the way. I realize, and I'm not annoyed. I'm just like, oh, man, I got to use a straw. Not annoyed. I realized I had my shirt on backwards. So when I flip it around, you can't tell I have a stain on my shirt at all. So that's what happens when you're not super annoyed all the time. If you're super annoyed all the time, you've got to do something to take your power back in your vibration. That's really important. Maybe you've got annoying kids. Maybe you wake up to kids fighting. Maybe I will say this about kids fighting in your home. It comes from you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. That wasn't nice, but it's true. The peace in your home, the feeling that you have in your home, the feeling that you promote, the love, the energy, that's all being felt. So if you've got a lot of fighting in your house, maybe you got to clean out your house. Maybe you got to declutter. Maybe you've got to do some positive aspects on your children. Maybe you've got to remind your kids what's good about life. Maybe you got to switch it up a little bit. Maybe wake them up with a silly song, or, maybe just if they come out and they're super crabby, and maybe what can I do for you, baby? What do you need? How can I help you? It's about changing the energy field, and we have the power to do it in every moment. Okay, so these are things. Drama that's linked to meanings. So meanings that we give to things that create drama within us. So looking at the dishes in the sink, the drama would be, my kids are doing that to annoy me, or they need to stop this, or whatever the complaining goes on, the nagging in your head. Things that you hear that you don't even know if they're true, right? Like the world stuff, they're always like making these projections and it upsets everybody. Yeah, we don't even know if those are true. They love to tailspin you. They love to put you in fear, and they love to tailspin you. Stories you make up, perceptions, judgments about people, the world, why someone did this. I could have really gone off on that whole conversation this morning, and I could have gotten really upset. But this is the thing. I don't feel like a phony. I don't feel like a phony. If you meet me, I'm real. I may not always be super direct, because just like everybody else, I'm not a big fan of confrontation, but I'm not a phony. I'm not a false prophet. I'm sharing what comes through me, and I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not. So if that were the case, if I felt like a false prophet, if I felt like a phony, that would have hurt a lot more. And I'm not going to lie, it stung a little bit. It stung a little bit to be accused of something. And then I checked in, and I was like, oh no, this isn't going to fly. So if someone says something to you and it really hurts, then you got to look inside and just see what that's reflecting. What this reflected to me was, my boundaries are off again. I'm giving out phone numbers to strangers. My boundaries are off. That's all it reflected to me. So the stories you make up, the perceptions, the judgments, those create drama. We often do this about people because I think, I don't know why. Sometimes we think the worst of people. And I think it's our mind, actually. Now that I just get this little download, it's the mind looking for problems, looking to solve problems, looking to create a little distraction from your actual spirit, from your actual heart. Meanings you give to things, dramatic stories you tell over and over again. That's what I was talking about, this story and who I'm going to tell and how selective I'm going to be about it. There's often dramatic things that happen in my life, and I won't tell a lot of people because I don't want to drive that vibration. I don't want to drive it because it doesn't make sense to drive it. If I don't want any more of that in my life, then I shouldn't talk about it, right? Then we shouldn't keep talking about it. We shouldn't keep giving it airtime, because then it's energetically sucking my joy and the people I'm telling, right? Complaining is a total low vibe. Sickness, it's funny. I always think about this example. This woman came into yoga one day. This was so long ago. It's so weird how some things just stick. And she was like, somebody asked her how she was, and she was like, oh, I'm good, but yesterday I had a horrible headache. And I was like, but that was yesterday, right? Like, so often we're trying to get attention from dramatic things that happened yesterday. And I'm like, why wouldn't you let that go? Why are we still talking about a headache that you had yesterday? Activating wounds in others, triggers, it happens. We're all in this world together. We've all got wounds. We're all doing the healing work. And it's great if we can come together and help each other to heal from things. I personally don't think that it's my job to make sure that everyone is okay. I can't. There's just no way, right? We just can't. We can't do it for everybody. Children not managing their emotions. I have a granddaughter, so I understand. I have daughters. Geez, I have a lot of daughters, so I get it. And one, major thing that I think my younger kids have taught me, and I think it's it's just a testimony to where my husband and I have come and how we've grown with our kids and where we're coming in our own experiences, letting people have emotions, letting them have our emotions. And Sunday was interesting. I woke up to a big stain on this white chair that I was actually planning on selling. I'm changing some of my stuff in my house and I was going to sell these chairs. And I literally had this thought, so great that those chairs have no stains. They're going to be so easy to sell. And then there's this huge stain on the chair. And the interesting thing that the person who stained it did, they sprayed it, but then they never cleaned it off. So the stain stuff made a bigger stain. So it became a bigger problem. So this is what I woke up to Sunday. And yeah, I didn't manage it that well. I mean, I didn't freak out, but I was just like, so we got the little steamer. We have the green machine. I swear by those things. Those things are awesome. Little green machine vacuum you can get on Amazon. And my husband started scrubbing it and it was kind of coming off. And the child who did this came down. And the really interesting thing that she did was she kind of got mad at us for it. She got mad at us for getting mad. And it was really interesting. And we were all supposed to go to the beach together and we decided to part ways because our relationships were not working at that point and she wanted to be alone. So my husband and I went for a beach walk, shook it off, like no big deal. And she was just like, it's just a chair. And I get that. I understand that. And it's not like we were grounding her like we could. It wasn't like we were yelling at her. It was just we were processing the fact that this chair that we're going to sell is now compromised. That's all. We were both processing, but we both handled it like champs. This girl has no idea. So, we go through the day. We have a great walk at the beach. We had some plans with friends to do this incredible whale watch. We saw 3 different kinds of dolphins. We had such a good time. And everything was fine. And the chair is almost 100%. Almost. I got to clean it again. She should be cleaning it. I should make her clean it. I really should. But the point of that story is that could have ruined our whole day. But it wasn't necessary, right? We had our moment. We had our emotions. We had the energy that happened. And then we shifted it. And what I did in the car on the way to the beach was mastery. We're on our way to the beach and my husband and I are going back and forth because I want to follow her because I don't want to just diss her. And he doesn't want to follow her because the beach she's going to isn't great for a beach walk. So we're kind of going back and forth, not really arguing, but kind of like, and then right before we get to her beach, she texts us and said she wants to be alone, which was hilarious. So we do this U-turn, but on the way there, what I'm doing is I'm thinking about everything. And this is not easy to do in a moment like this. How grateful I am. What a beautiful day it is. How grateful I am for my family. How much I love each and every one of them. How this really is just a chair. It's not really that big of a deal. So I did that little pep talk, If you don't do the pep talk, what's going to happen is your mind is going to go bonkers. It's going to go down. It's going to ride that roller coaster of negativity. And before you know it, you're so ticked off that you have ruined your day. You've ruined the day of the people you're with. You've ruined everybody's day around you. You are literally a SHIT storm of negative energy. And for what? For what? Because you didn't know how to manage your own emotions, because you weren't able to interrupt that process before you went into an old neural loop that got you upset. So interrupt it, notice it, ask yourself, how do I shift this? That's what I did. I was in the car. I was like, how do I shift this? I don't want this. It's for my day. My husband and I have, not a lot of days together. Like we get sometimes Saturday and Sunday, sometimes it's half Sunday. I'm like, I want to be in positivity. I'm going to the beach. It's beautiful out. I'm going for a walk. So I did some work on that. Definitely did work on that and just interrupted it before it went into that place of what normally could be a big fight where people are dissing each other and not spending time together. So children that don't manage their emotions, the little ones, like the really little ones that don't know how to manage their emotions, one is like not making them wrong for it. 2 is helping them to process it. Like, what are you feeling right now? If you're feeling really angry, you can go hang out in your room and just like breathe and teach them some things they can do, not to not to push the emotion down or away, but to process it, to let it come through, to allow it, getting them to talk about it. What are you feeling? Why are you upset? My daughter it was a rough day for her. She just kind of woke up in a bad mood. It was definitely hormonal. And we talked about it later, and she was crying just about other things. And I just said, honey, just get through it. It's just a day. And I said, you're not alone. We all experience it. I think that's really important for kids to know. We all experience this. We love you. Just find a way to soften this to get through it. That was my advice to her that day. And she did okay. All right. Here's some other ways you create drama. When other people are rude or disrespectful. Yeah, you can get really crazy about that, right? The other day I was at the beach, and these people put their stuff really close to us, and it upset somebody I was with a little bit. It wasn't terrible. And they kind of said something, and I was just like, direct. I'm learning to be more direct. Okay. But it's that feeling of you're disrespecting my space. You're in my space, right? I feel disrespected by what you're doing. And to be totally honest with you, and I think this is a really important lesson that I've learned, people aren't thinking about you. They don't even see you. They aren't even aware. Like, people are just not aware. We went to a concert last week. I think I shared about that. Did I? Maybe I didn't. It was so freaking fun. We saw The Movement, Aurora Wave, who is like one of my new faves. They're heavy metal reggae. I can't believe I loved it. It was crazy. I think I did share this. And K-Bong and Johnny Cosmic. It was just one of the best shows I've ever been to. But people bumping up against you because they've drank too much alcohol and spilling their alcohol on you. It's like, they're not doing this to make you mad. They're not doing this to disrespect you. Most of the time, people are just not aware. And that doesn't mean we give people a pass to be foolish, but it does mean protecting our peace means we don't get upset about it. We're just like, hey, you're spilling alcohol on me, right? That's it. That's all that's necessary. I don't have to get upset. I don't have to get my husband involved. None of it. It's like, how do we protect our peace, right? I love to imagine angels around my family. I love to protect us in angels. I love to surround us. It just feels really good to me, and it helps me not to get into that worrying state. Worrying is a waste of energy and is a very low vibration. So if you can just send angels for people that you're starting to worry about, because remember what worry is, you're getting on that roller coaster. You get on that roller coaster, you start thinking about all these horrible things that are happening. And guess what law of attraction does? You're setting up your energetic field. So instead, you send angels, you send protection, you send light, you send love. You don't send worry, because worry is a negative vibration. Some other ways you create drama: waiters not being great. I can get a little, I'm not really excited when a waiter's not great. But you could ruin a whole meal like that. It's not good to eat like that. Maybe a little, being a little direct. Hey, check in with us, whatever. I don't know. But I've noticed that can ruin a meal when you're in that situation and the waiter's not being great. Having a little compassion and understanding for these. They're not even called waiters anymore. They're called servers. Having a little compassion and understanding for servers, for people that work in the grocery stores, it goes a long way. Instead of feeling like these entitled people that are always in a rush, that always need everybody to do everything for them, a little compassion goes a really long way. Not having boundaries with others. Apparently, this one's still learning that. Yeah, having a little boundaries. So this is a huge lesson when you start to feel like somebody is doing something to you. Ask yourself why you're allowing it, because nobody can do anything to you without your permission. So it's a boundary issue for you. And if it's like, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want them to get mad at me, what are you doing? You're disrespecting yourself when you do that. It's like, no, this is what I need. This is not working for me. It's okay to say that. Guilt-free, it's okay to say that. And the less guilty you feel, don't feel guilt. But the less guilty you feel, the less guilt they're going to reflect to you. And listen, people get over their stuff. They may get upset with you in the moment. And, I have one child who gets really upset when I don't do what she wants to do. But over time and working on myself and working on our relationship, that happens a lot less. I'm not allowing that anymore. That's a boundary thing that I've cleaned up within myself. Not respecting yourself or your own time, like just letting people take your time and then you feel resentful about it. Who's in charge of that? You're in charge of that. Obligations completely steal your joy. And I get it. We have families, we have things that we have to do, especially if you have young kids. I lived it for 31 years. I still have children. I still not super obligated, but still have some obligations, but I feel differently about them. I feel excited about them. And if something's not going to work for me, then I'm much more easy to say that, right? You might have a blocked throat chakra if you're having trouble saying what you need, or what letting people, just obligating your whole life to people. Not wanting to hurt others, like way too much compassion and guilt. That's a big one. And, I had that thought this morning when I put the block on my phone and on Facebook, and I had that thought for a moment and I thought, oh, I wonder if there's something. And I was like, you know what? No, there's nothing that I need to do. There's nothing that I need to do. Because if that person is hurt and wounded and they come at me trying to hurt me and wound me, then our work is done here. There's, it's about protecting my own peace and not feeling guilty about that. So the thing about not wanting to hurt others, eventually you end up hurting them, because eventually you just can't take it anymore. So being honest, being loving, being compassionate, and of course, this is people that you're, in deep relationships with, is always better. Because I've had so many friendships end because we didn't communicate, because we couldn't talk to each other, because we couldn't tell each other what was going on. And then it got so bad and it was so intolerable that the relationship there was nothing left to salvage. So if you would like to just not do that, then communication is my best friendships that have lasted the test of time. There has been healthy communication on all fronts. World stuff, TikTok. Oh my goodness. I feel like TikTok can steal my children's peace. I'm not on TikTok. I am on TikTok. You'll find me on there, but I don't go on TikTok because I do feel like it's a time sucker. I feel like when I get on there, I go into a hole and I can't get out. And it's like an hour goes by and I'm like, oh my God. Oh, okay. I can't. The fast moving energy, it depletes our dopamine. I know if you're a TikTok lover, I'm sorry, but I'm just not. And I feel like there's a lot of infiltration on TikTok, especially towards our children, and agendas. I feel like there's agendas on everything, right? If you're really into conspiracy theories, I'm going to tell you right now, we don't know what's true, and conspiracy theories can steal a lot of your peace and a lot of your joy, as much as it feels good because it's dramatic and you feel like you want to take your power back. You're not taking your power back. You're actually giving your power away when you give into those things and you let them upset you. Unless you're going to go out there and you're going to do something about it, it's a waste of your energy. Arguing, fighting, trying to convince others that you're right. That was the direction I thought I was going to, that I could have gone in this morning. I'm like, nope, we're not doing that. I have nothing to prove. Again, nagging is a waste of energy. Nagging is like, when you're nagging someone, your children in particular, or your husband, you are in the opposition of what you want to happen. Because when you nag someone, I think it's because of maybe what they grew up with or whatever. I'm not sure what the component, I think it's just a vibration. It actually makes them want to do the opposite. So if you really want people to do things for you and you really want to get things done around your house, your best bet is to have a sit down and just be like, hey, this is what I need. What do you need? How can we make this work together? That's your best bet. I also have a husband who's really good about getting things done. So I'm not like one of those wives, thank goodness. Like he'll make lists for himself. He has his own honey-do list. Like he just does it. So if you're in a relationship with a guy who's not getting those things, or a girl who's not getting those things done that are really important to you, maybe you need to try to do them yourself. I don't know. The nagging thing is, it's just never going to work. And it's having healthy communication about that. Doubting yourself, beating yourself up, and being afraid of judgment. Those are also very, very wasted energies that they steal your peace. They don't allow you to be peaceful. They don't allow you to be in the vibration of peace. And it's a mechanism that we all have. I really believe that. It's that old, that shitty committee that is that small self that we're looking to expand and grow from, so that the higher self, that meditative state, that feeling of good energy, that feeling of intuition, that feeling of like when you're on it and you're in alignment and you're in your high self-esteem and high self-confidence, that small self is threatened by that higher self. So it will work to pull you away from it in any way, shape, or form it can. It'll work from guilt. It'll work from feeling bad. It'll work from all sorts of mechanisms to work to get you to stay the same or to stay in drama. If you're in drama, you're not in a high vibration. If you're in drama, you're listening to that small self. That's what drama is. That's what stress is. That's what's not being in your peace is all about. It's listening to that lower self that doesn't understand the bigger picture. They can't see the higher perspective. They can't take the lessons. They don't have compassion for other people. They don't have boundaries or compassion for yourself. They just tell you what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, and how you're not enough and how you're not being enough and all of those things. So this all kind of boils down to that little voice, that vision and growth. So don't listen to that voice. Start working on start working on focusing on that higher self, getting in your meditative states, reminding yourself just how good you have it. Reminding yourself just how good life really is. We tend to forget that. I think one of the greatest things that my posts do, and they do it for me as well as anybody else, is they're reminders. They're reminders to stop beating yourself up. They're reminders to look outside, enjoy nature. They're reminders to get back into the power you have to create and to stop giving away your power to the wounds and the triggers and to the world out there that you are perceiving as being against you. A lot of this is about believing the world is against you. If you have a vibration of I'm always alone and nobody loves me and nobody cares about me and I don't matter, you are going to manifest that in the world. You're going to do things like that text this morning to people, maybe even people you don't even really know that well, that you don't even have a solid relationship with. You're going to do that to people so that you prove to yourself that you are alone, that you are not worthy, and that you don't matter. So if you're judging harshly, if you're feeling like people are wrong for doing things, you're putting yourself in a box where a very small and limited amount of people can show up to your standards. And it's fine. If that's the way you want to live, it's fine. It's not the way to create community or love or acceptance or compassion. That's not the way to it. So if that's not what you want, that's fine. But if we want to live in a more compassionate world, if we want to live in more community, if we want to live in more love and joy and peace, then we have to promote it. We have to be the ones who are activating it, who are putting it out there. Last week I shared that I wasn't going to do my energy stuff on here anymore just because I think it's hard for people to grab it at the end of the show. So I promised you I would do some on YouTube, and I promise you that I will. Possibly this week. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to commit to that. I've actually decided that it's summer and I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to do my show. I'm always committed to the show. But as far as workshops or anything, I'm going to get my book out. My book is done. I'm very excited. So we're just inputting it into Amazon now. So that will be out in the next few weeks. And I'm going to vacation. I'm going to have fun with my family. I was thinking when the kids were in school, I actually had this little nostalgic moment. my daughter was taking my granddaughter to like a jump park. And I was like, oh, that was so fun. Like when it was hot out and we would just go to these places, and like my only responsibility was to make sure all the kids survived all day. And I loved that. That was really fun. And I thought, why can't I do that now? I absolutely can do that now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have a good summer, and I'm not going to be obligated to anything. So when the mood strikes and when the intuition strikes, you guys will get more clearing. There is a self-love meditation on YouTube. If you Google it on my channel, like if you go to my channel and put up self-love meditation, there is a meditation there. And I promise to share more of those because they are really good. And the energy clearing ones are really good. In fact, I have some. I wonder if I could share the ones that I have. Maybe I'll do that. My book, Mindful Manifestation Secrets, is available on Amazon, and it's also on Audible, so you can listen to it. I really want to get it on Spotify. Gotta work on that. That might be a fall project. Mindful Manifestation Secrets Daily Guide and Journal is also on Amazon. 100 pages of content. The rest is journaling, writing prompts. And then Quantum Speak for Parents is all about energetic law of attraction parenting. That is also on Amazon. So those are different ways that you can see different stuff that I've put out there and different energy. And Mindful Manifestation Secrets is our story of how we moved from California to from Connecticut to California, and basically really took a dream that we had and made it into reality. I've been kind of going back and forth on Facebook with someone who was talking about moving out of Connecticut, and how, it was interesting because first of all, people love to discourage you from your dreams. But secondly, I thought it was interesting because people said you take yourself with you. So even if you can go to a new place in a new land, and I have to say, I used to agree with that, and I don't anymore. Because when you move locations, you are following your dreams. So you are up-leveling your experience quite a bit. And you're putting yourself in a completely different vibration where it's not the same people, it's not the same scenery, it's not the same things to do. So you are changing energetically and vibrationally when you leave a place that you've lived for a long time and you go somewhere different. You are not necessarily taking yourself with you. Now, we're all expanding and growing, so of course we still may have the same triggers and the same things going on, but hopefully you're working on that. Hopefully you've listened to enough of my stuff and enough of the things out there that will help you to expand and grow and to create less triggers because you're healing and you're not so wounded. And, hopefully you are putting those dreams down on paper, right? Writing is the strongest form of clarity, and you are activating that. So in order to activate what you really want to happen, you first have to have clarity. Then you have to have not necessarily a plan, but you need to have something that moves the energy. So for us, it was booking plane tickets, and it was a date, because it had been 4 years of us saying that we wanted to do something and doing nothing about it. So there does need to be some action. Intuitive action is always the best, but leaps of faith sometimes are crazy. People are going to tell you you're crazy. People are going to tell you why you shouldn't do it or what their experience was. So keep that in mind. So clarity, a little bit of action, and a little bit of a plan, but not needing to figure out all of the hows it's going to happen. You don't need all of it. You just need, the foundation of the plan, and then you need to move forward with it. So you don't need a ton of money. You do need some money. I won't lie about that, because you definitely need some money to get from place to place. But putting a number on that, we put a number out there, and we weren't going to save any money until we did that. So if you do have a dream and it seems outlandish and it won't leave you alone, then you are meant to have it. You are meant to go towards it. It won't leave you alone, because that is your greatest avenue. We have some friends right now who are doing something crazy. They are selling their house here, and they bought a horse ranch in Las Vegas. I'm so thrilled for them and thrilled for me, because I love horses. But it's crazy what they're doing. Like, they know it's crazy and they're so excited. And we just said, you got to do it. You got to take the risks. You got to live your life, because what else is there? Are we just waiting to die? Or are we actually taking part in living what's calling to us, of living what really draws our attention, and what brings us forward in a way that we can expand and grow with it. So that's what your dreams are. And bringing them into reality, I will tell you, will give you confidence. It will help you to manifest so much faith. Like your faith will exponentially grow when you do this. It's just one of the greatest things you can do else that they lived in, and move somewhere else. It could be a job. It could be a new business. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a new book that you want to write. My book secret is always 3 pages a day. I've written so many books that way, where I just got up and I wrote 3 pages a day. It takes like 15 to 20 minutes. And then edited it afterwards. And, that process takes probably 6, 7, 8 months. Doesn't have to if you have somebody else editing. But for me, that's what it does. But writing it usually takes me a month. The book I'm about to put out is 174 pages, I think I saw this morning. Or was it 274? Oh, geez. No, I think it was 174. 1 month of just focus of 15 to 20 minutes. Actually, that one I wrote a lot more because it was just coming through. But you can do it. You can do anything that your heart calls you to. And one of the biggest things of letting the drama go and clearing your energy and making sure that you are protecting your peace is that you will have time for that. You will have time to think about your dreams. You'll have time to envision your dreams. You'll have time to activate energy towards your dreams, because you're not being sucked over here and letting all of your peace be, when you're in drama, when you're living in drama and stress, and like that survival thing shows up, you have no capacity for intuition. You have no capacity for moving forward in life. You're in a place where you can't focus, because drama doesn't allow you to focus. When emotions are high, logic is lost. So keep that in mind. If you're driving drama every day, you're not going to be available for the really good stuff, the living your dreams, the living the joy, the living the better relationship. Not going to be available for it. And heavy energy shows up in your body. So you may be carrying extra weight, which weighs you down. I can't even say how much lighter I have felt these last, I'd probably say 6 months. I've had a shift, because I stopped beating myself up about working out. I stopped beating myself about eating. I'm just really eating intuitively. I'm moving my body 10,000 steps a day. I'm weight training 4 to 5 times a week, and I feel amazing, but there's no negative commentary about it. I'm just doing what I feel drawn to do. If I'm not feeling super energetic and I don't want to take a walk at night, I don't, because I'm listening to my body. I'm listening to what I actually need. And when you do that, you formulate a lot of peace. You formulate a lot of joy. You start to let yourself off the hook, and you let others off the hook as well. And that is what leads us to peace. That is what leads us to a better experience. That is what puts us at a higher vibration, so we can start manifesting all of the peace, all of the joy, all of the good stuff that we say we really want. So it's up to you. It's your choice. It's your decision, moment by moment by moment. So take it back. Take your power back. Decide for yourself how you want to experience life. And then slowly, takes a little momentum to shift this. It's not like you're going to go from being super cranky to super happy in one day. Slowly work on your thoughts. Slowly work on appreciation. Work on meditation. Work on those things. Go out in nature. Do those things that fill you up and really help you to feel good, and let go of the guilt. And if you're dealing with something right now that's really heavy and really traumatic, do what I suggested for my daughter. Find a way to get through it, and find a way to get through it and be great through it. Just find a way to be great. How can I be great? How can I be great at this? I know this is really hard. I know this is really challenging. I know I'm being called to something really, really a lot more than I wanted it to be. How can I be great? All right, people, be great. Peace out. Love y'all. Peace.